talking to us and having a catch-up, getting ready now, of course, for a busy Easter weekend of football. But first of all, as we all know, and what's happened while we've been away from the action, there's been a change at the top where your long-serving chairman, John Bowler, has decided to call it a day. You've worked very close with him, not just as the manager, in other roles as well, as the captain of the team and as part of the academy. Just your thoughts on that.
Obviously, John was a terrific servant for this football club, and he helped me immensely. So, from a personal point of view, it's untold gratitude. He helped me, certainly as academy manager, and even more so as first team manager. And for that, he offered me the opportunity to be part of this football club in the first instance. So, from a personal point of view, he's been terrific to me, both as a person, in terms of professionally, and as a friend, really. And he's a good guy, and I can't say a bad word about him. So I think he's been terrific for this football club. This football club is, he's helped develop this football club into what it is today, and for that, I just want to thank him. That's the main thing. He's been terrific for us.
Unfortunately, these people in the game who've been at it a long time and know football inside out are just beginning to come to the end, aren't they? And it's not always the best that everybody like John Bowler goes out of the game.
No. I think when you're a young manager, you look for people around you who know what they're on about, and the chairman was certainly one of them. That's for sure. What he didn't know about football, it wasn't worth knowing, if you like. So he's going to be a big miss for me personally and for this football club. So we move forward. And hopefully I can have the same relationship going forward with other people.
Well, as you say, you move forward. You're moving towards Easter, an Easter programme where 2 games in a short space of time. And very interesting games for you as well, because I would say that you're in a sort of mini league of probably 10 clubs battling for the six places that are on offer.
Yeah, I think there's still all to play for. I think you look at someone like Gillingham, who I saw last Saturday at Hull. I think they won 3 or 4 or 5 on the spin, something like that, and suddenly everyone's talking about them getting the playoffs. And that's how sort of easy it is. But at the same time, winning 5 games on the spin in this league, there's not many that have done it because it is tough. So we know what lies ahead of us, and if we have a good last 10 games, then we've got every chance of getting in there. But then, like you've said, there's another 10 teams that also probably think like that. So all to play for with 10 games to go, and we've got to make sure we give it his best shot.
I know you always want to have more. You would go over many games where you should have got more, but to be in this position, with 10 games to go at Easter in League One, there'll be a lot of clubs that like to swap places with you.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat yesterday that said we create the 4th most chances in League One, and I go, that's such a brilliant stat for us, because I think if we create the 4th most chances in this league for the next 10 games, we only then need to take the chances, and if we take the chances, we've got every chance of winning the games of football. Now, ifs, buts, would have, could have, should have, maybes, and all the rest of it. Don't win your games of football, because we could have already had more points on the board because we didn't take them chances. So we know that, we know what it takes, if you like, and we know we've got the creativity to create them chances. We've just got to have the ammunition and the ruthlessness to score the goals. And if we do that, then we've got every chance. Every chance. We've got the best test we can have currently. on Friday because we've got the league leaders. So, why not? That's the challenge. That's what we're in the game for. That's what we want to test ourselves against the best. And currently the best is Hull City. And that's what we've got to do.
Well, you've picked up on the stat. I also picked up on it myself as well. Just going to just broaden it out a little bit. You've just mentioned Hull City there. 224 for Hull City and 211 for Crewe Alexandra. It looks a real tasty fixture, doesn't it? But as you quite rightly pointed out, you could have had more goals, but I know supporters haven't been there, but it just shows how you can bring together entertainment and results.
Yeah, what's my style of football? What's his football club's style of football? We want to be entertaining, developing youngsters, and hopefully winning football matches. We work hard at both them aspects, so that even if we lose, which we don't want to do, but even if we lose, the fans have been entertained and probably seen some good quality football. And that's, I think that as a manager, I think you've got a duty. I know not all managers agree with that because we've seen some teams play football. But for me personally, I'd much rather try and entertain and win games of football than be pragmatic about it. Maybe I'm wet behind the ears and I haven't been in this game long enough. I think I have, but I'd much rather try and win with style than win with substance, if you like. And that's what we do at this football club. That's what I do. That's what we're staff do. We've got to develop youngsters. We've got to create chances. We've got to play a certain way whilst I'm sat here. And if we do that, then 9 times out of 10, we'll be entertained regardless of the result. Obviously, we want to win. And like I say, Hull have created as many chances as us, or just a few more chances than us with all their resources. So, we think it'll be a good game.
You've been off from the action, but you've not been away from your training ground and other duties that you've been doing as well. What has been that concentration with your players on the training ground? Have you concentrated on anything, prioritised anything, or you've just done a general sort of 2 weeks?
We gave them some time off. That's the first thing. It's been a long, tough season, and I've been to, what is it? What have I been to? 3 matches? 3 matches in these last 8 days. And it's interesting. I saw Grant McCann at one, and first thing he said to me was, "I'm tired. It's a long season, this one," because of the relentlessness of it. I spoke to someone on the pro license, League One staff, and they said the same thing. So I think it was right to give the players a bit of time off, only 2 or 3 days, and then obviously they come back in and get tested and all the rest of it. But to get the heads and the bodies and the minds and all the rest of it sort of refreshed. And then obviously this week we've been working on a few bits of development, and now we'll be leading up to the game on Friday. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag as opposed to concentrating on one thing, I have to say. I suppose the proof will be in the pudding over the next 4 or 5 days, whether it's worked or not.
As we've seen over many, many seasons, of course, Dave, there is usually one club that can come with that run, and you've got to firmly believe that it's your players. Yeah,
we haven't lost belief. No way. I think the last time the clubs got promoted via the playoffs, I think they were in the playoffs for 2 weeks all season. I remember it quite well. Don't get me wrong, I think we were on something like a 15-game unbeaten run by the time we got in the playoffs. But like I say, we were in the playoffs for the last 2 weeks of the season, albeit in League Two. But it shows what can happen. We haven't been in the playoffs. We've had half a dozen chances to get in the playoffs this season and lost or drawn every game and not got in there, which has been frustrating. But at the same time, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we've still got everything to play for with 10 games to go. And the game's going to come thick and fast in the next 3 weeks. And we've got to make sure we pick up as many points as we can in them next 3 weeks.
How do you think the players are feeling? What shape do you think they are in now that you've just mentioned it's been a long, hard time, a lot of 3-game weeks that have been going on. It's crunch time now, as they're all saying, goes, business time of the season.
Yeah, well, we went to the game for 10 days, so you'd like to think they're refreshed. And we're good to go. You know, like I say, we've got 3 weeks or 5 weeks in total to try and get in them playoffs, and that's what we've got to do.
One player who's probably benefited from a couple of weeks that you haven't had that action to think about has been Luke Offord. He got a 70-minute under his belt and a 90-minute under his belt, under 23 level. Can you bring us right up to date now? Is he back with your first team squad fully?
Yeah, I watched the game. I didn't go to Hull. But I watched the game yesterday morning, and he was fine. Came through it fine. So he'll be like all them players who played on slightly less today, getting ready for Friday. So yeah, we'll, you know, like Luke's, like everyone else, he'll be in contention, and we'll pick a team to try and win the game on Friday.
Good to have him back though, Dave, isn't it? You know, that's football. He's only a young lad, and you do take a little bit of setbacks here and there with injuries and whatever, but you know exactly how he fitted into your first team squad. It's great to have that ability back with you.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a real good player. You know, he was a victim definitely of lots of games in a young, immature body. Don't get me wrong, he'd already played 20 games, but playing him Saturday, Tuesday. You know, I think we had, was it 1 week off in 3 months before Christmas, something like that, one midweek off, something like that. It was crazy amounts of games. But we're, you know, to get Luke back and others is a you know, the fitter your squad, the more or the less injuries you've got, the you know, for us it's imperative. It's imperative. We haven't got the biggest squad. We've got some lads still developing as opposed to performance ready. That's where we're at, and that's always been the case. So we've got to make sure the ones that are performance ready are fit and able to play. And Luke's one of them. It was only probably this time last year, you know, or whatever. No, was it January when he first got in the team? He played about 9 games. So it's only 12 months ago that he was developing as opposed to performance ready. And then he finished off the season very well before it got curtailed. And he started well again this season. So he's now moved from developing into performing and developing, if you like. So that's, you know, it's important that we get as many of them performance ready players fit and able to play, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of games in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and we're going to need as many of them as we can.